Everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Five Guys on Live. We have only 4 guys here tonight, but I really do believe the 4 of us are going to be able to give you a wonderful and exciting experience because it's been such a full week in the news. I am coming to you live from New York City, where I am here for work, but again, it's going to take a whole lot for me to miss. I was this close to saying, you know what, I think I'll just stay out, drink, but I decided to bring the drink to the broadcast because who better to drink with than the 3 of you and all of you who are watching here with us. So, gentlemen, how's your week been? How anything happening worth talking about?
All is great. No complaints.
You know, we're going to dive right into Vince. You know, keep it lighthearted, keep it fun in honor of my drink. And I want to apologize to everyone in the world who's seeing me drink Pinot Noir out of a shot glass, because it's the only thing that the hotel had that was like a glass. I refuse to drink this out of like a paper coffee cup. I know that, you know, red wine should be drinking out of like a globe. I know that. And I would never do this any other way, but this is desperate times calling for desperate measures. So, Vince, as we talk about desperate times, and we're talking about the whole entire, like the title of the show being The Big Baby. You know, there were some big babies last week as Nicki Minaj came forth and said that she claimed that she did not attend the Met Gala, nor did she attend the VMA Awards because she was unvaccinated and she wanted more time to research the vaccine despite a lot of public information being shared. There were people who praised her, some who there was derision. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you basically, you know, pretty much explain it all or what have you. So yeah, last week she took to Twitter and explained the reasons why she did not decide or wasn't able rather to attend the Met Gala as well as the VMAs or what have you. Through her engagement on her platform with her fans, she was sharing stories about, you know, close family members and how I guess the vaccine or COVID has sort of, you know, responded to them and dealing with people's, you know, lower genital areas or what have you, things, you know, expanding and all these things or what have you. And so post that
said that her cousin had enlarged testicles as a result. Hopefully they were washed, Zach Thomas. Hopefully they were washed because I do continue, Vince.
It was her cousin's friend, not her cousin.
Right, cousin's friend or what have you. So yeah, blah, 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 blah. So then the backlash just came about. You had Joy Reid, you know, that took to, you know, reporting it. Don Lemon came, Meghan McCain came out of left field, CDC came, and then the health minister of Trinidad and Tobago came out of nowhere. So there's all these people, you know, going in on Nicki. And you know, we know that Nicki is far from a punk, so she gonna clap back and respond and make sure she reciprocates the same energy that is given per the people that are attacking her or what have you. So really quickly, just my position, my stance on it is we know that there is a significant number of people in our country that aren't vaccinated. a lot of people are, not a lot, but there's a good number probably that are anti-vaxxers, and there's another good number that's probably just hesitant, that are, have, apprehensions or what have you. I feel like we have to really make sure that those people that are in that hesitancy bubble, that we are doing our best to, of course, give them correct information, but we can't just negate and ostracize and attack that bubble of people by just sharing their own stories or what have you. And I feel like that's sort of what happened to Nicki. And I'm not for it. I don't really like how people just sort of came for her for just sharing and engaging on her platform, with her followers, her story, and her positions on things. Yes, we can say that celebrities do have platforms, and she has 27 million followers and all these things or what have you. But the more that I saw other, well-established and knowledgeable, educated journalists come for her, quote unquote, I was like, is this your platform or her platform? Because if we rewind back to Hillary Clinton and back to Obama, we want her platform when she giving the Democratic Party money, when she going off on Trump, when we want her to campaign and want her to endorse, and we want your 27 million followers then. But then coming to the pandemic, when she's just sharing her personal stories or what have you, now it's like, you need to watch this, you need to do this, you need to do that. So it's like, I don't like how people are trying to like safeguard folks' platforms and things like that. I ain't like it. I ain't like it at all.
So, I want to say that originally, she made the tweet. Joy Reid put it on the readout. I watched the readout. I recorded every night. And what Joy Reid said was respectful. It was not in the very beginning in that first clip disrespectful. It was Nicki's immediate response to her that was disrespectful when she called Joy Reid a coon and an Uncle Thomasina, when I don't even know if Nicki Minaj knows who Joy Reid really is. I don't know if she even watches like that MSNBC. Now, to my knowledge, Vince, Nicki Minaj was not used to support Democratic candidates. Nicki Minaj literally has a song saying that she was going to vote for Mitt Romney because he was better for the economy, as opposed to the first black man to serve as United States of America. Honestly, for me, that's when Nicki Minaj lost Zachary Kirk. I think that Nicki Minaj, and again, she's a good lyricist. Now, I don't know if she writes these lyrics or if she just simply delivers them, but she does a great job with it. I don't have a problem with her using her platform the way she wants to use her platform. I don't have a problem with that. But I do believe that journalists had Joy Reid's back. Just like rappers would have Nicki's back, journalists had Joy Reid's back. They are they're a family, they're a community. And so I think that many of them they had to clap back. This is what I want to share that I think may be a little bit different than what most people have said about this topic. And let me get big for just this point. You know what? I think it's really coincidental that this comes out. Like, now, I don't believe Nicki did this on purpose, but just last week, Neil deGrasse Tyson sent out this tweet that talked about all of the Republicans and conservatives, the majority of the anti-vaxxers who are dying in mass numbers, and how that might hurt the Republican Party down the road because they won't have their numbers. They're dying of COVID. Then Nicki comes out with this comment. I don't believe it was to fan anti-vax issues. I believe it was to cover up for the fact that, she was due in court and there are some charges out against her and she's being accused of cover up and bullying and a number of things. And that is why she probably didn't attend the Met Gala and she probably had to miss the VMAs because she had a court appearance. But what angers me and why I will never be able to turn back to Nicki Minaj as a fan is that she allowed conservative white supremacist media like Tucker Carlson to use her words and to weaponize her words to hurt the black community. These men on Fox News and these people on Fox News are fully vaccinated. Fox News has more stringent guidelines around the vaccine than what President Biden issued from the White House. Yet and still, they are trying to convince black people to not get vaccinated. I absolutely think that it's on purpose. And I think that Nicki Minaj is definitely guilty of, what's the right word when you like work with somebody, aiding and abetting anti-vax claims in the black community.
Well, I don't know. My only pushback with that is how can you say that you don't believe it was her intention to fan the flames on unvaccination or the people that are apprehensive about getting vaccinated? Yet, if she's unintentional about that, but she allowed her tweet to be used by Fox News to do XYZ. It's like if my intentions wasn't even to even go this far, how now it's my fault that Fox News, they were just waiting on whatever piece of information to run. It could have been you, it could have been me, it could have been anybody.
Now, what I look at the tweets, Nicki co-signed. Nicki joined in with Fox News.
Yeah, going backwards to what I said earlier, Nicki Minaj pledged her support to Obama in 2016, and she was on Hillary Clinton's coattails when she ran as well. So at the end of the day, you want my 27 million when it's benefiting y'all, but then when I'm engaging with people on my platform, then y'all want to come for me. And then another thing, I'm really upset about it is, if we gonna talk about it, let's talk about it. Nicki talking about Corona, COVID-19, and unvaccination and the stories like that. We ain't talking about her husband. We ain't talking about the courts. We ain't talking. Everybody want to throw in all these other things that are irrelevant to what she said in her tweet. So if we're gonna talk about the situation, stay on topic. Don't nobody give a flip about what the husband did and what she bullying and stuff like that. It's irrelevant. That's what I hate about people. They try to find
it's relevant.
Other things. But it's not irrelevant to this situation. But now you just trying to pile up other things to go against this tweet about vaccines. Exactly. That's irrelevant. Her husband's situation is irrelevant. It is not going to assist or not assist people with getting vaccinated. So why you keep bringing it up?
It's deflecting. It's used as a means to further, I guess, not necessarily criticize her, but to invalidate her point that she was making. And if we're being very honest, she said that she did not plan on getting vaccinated. She encouraged people to do their own. And at the point that we demean, degrade, and belittle people for simply saying, do your own research. In my experience, this is what a friend of my family told me happened to them. And so I'm encouraging everyone to do their own research as I do my research. I think that's problematic because if we want to be honest, if we think back a few weeks ago, someone used this platform to say that they felt like the CDC was being disingenuous or telling lies about the reporting for breakthrough cases. That's something that could be used to say that, the government is not being honest with us about what's happening with COVID as well. So why is it that we get to say that, perhaps based on my experience with the people I know, I don't think the CDC is reporting accurately. But when Nicki Minaj claims that based on her experience with her family and people that she knows, this is a potential side effect that is not being illuminated. And there are reports now that there's a very small number of people who have also reported also enlarged testicles. I think the number was around 66. And if you also think about it, early on when we talked about the vaccine and people's response to it, there were a lot of people who reported having Bell's palsy in the face. I don't know if the vaccine has had that happen to them. So there are a number of ways that you can look at it. However, I think that Nicki Minaj reserves the right to say, I don't feel comfortable getting this vaccine at this time. I will once I've done enough research to decide that it's something I want to do.
Okay, so I'm okay with celebrities using their platform to spread information, but make sure it's factual. Make sure that there is some legitimacy around it. For you to have that many followers, for you to be a person who has influence, I think you have to be careful what you say and how you say it, because you never know what it might do to individuals. And so I don't mind you using your platform, but make sure it's factual. The information that she said is not factual. And for you to say that, you just spread more hesitancy for individuals who was already hesitant. You might be hesitant. Say that. Just say that. But don't use, I heard this because my cousin's cousin, friend's best friend, sister, girlfriend.
That's not what she said. We got to stop doing that. That's not what she said. You're saying it's not factual. Who said it's not factual that this happened?
The Trinidad man said we investigated. It could be a STI.
It could be any number of things.
The nation of Trinidad came out against this woman. Come on, Darius. Why would a whole country? Why would a whole country come out to everybody's claim?
And when to look for this guy.
Exactly.
The testicles were enlarged.
Exactly, Darius. That's what I'm saying. How many cases? I was about to say a word. Andrew Cuomo, DeSantis, all these unreported cases, hiding deaths, hiding this, hiding that. Are you really looking us in our face knowing this is both a Democratic and a Republican person, knowing that these people do not know actual numbers that cover things up. People don't report stuff. So regardless if the health minister or whoever country land says something, maybe the cousin friend didn't even report it. But who are we to say that?
And here's my thing, Vince. Also, I want you to bring the comment back up saying, you can't have testicles if you're dead. That is very true. We know there are side effects to every single medicine there is on the market. So why do we not share all of the instances with this specific vaccine? Why is it? People are going to be more hesitant about you telling Nicki Minaj to shut up, nigga, and stay in the corner than they will about Nicki Minaj saying that her cousin's friend has some issues with his testicles. So when
no one told Nicki Minaj that. That's a nonsense Nicki Minaj made up on her own on Instagram Live, trying to gain attention. No one told Nicki Minaj to shut up.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that Nicki Minaj had to make up a story about why she did not want the vaccine. She didn't have to do that.
No, I don't think she made it up. But I don't think she should have said it because it was not relevant or factual.
That's fine. You can't say it's not factual.
Well, look, you know what? These barbs can go right along with the Trumplicans, and they can all end up in the same place.
Well, I'm fully vaxxed and I am a barb. So
they can all end up, everybody who wants to listen to Nicki Minaj, and you want to prioritize the words of Nicki Minaj and her uneducated self over the words of scientists, you guys can all end up in the same place. That's going to help us build back America better.
I'm prioritizing everyone's right to get the vaccine. And I'm also devoting.
So rally.
Come again?
You was at that rally?
At what rally?
For the Nicki in Atlanta.
I was not at a Nicki rally. I'm not.
We have inspired a whole group of Black people to rally against getting vaccinated. That's the danger in what this woman is doing that you guys are defending.
Only 54% of the nation is vaccinated. People have had access to the vaccine since March, February. Some people had it in December. There are healthcare professionals who have still decided not to get the vaccine. Why is it that Nicki Minaj sends out one tweet and that's the single deciding factor for these people who have decided not to get the vaccine?
They literally, I have not seen Black people I haven't seen Black people mass organize and protest the vaccine until Nicki's comments.
It's called fear of influence. She has influence. So you have to be careful.
Young Dr. CB Sun on the show talking about don't get the vaccine because this gonna save you, that gonna save you. These people have been doing this forever. If people don't want it, then they don't want it. And that's on them. I thought we decided that already. That we don't care.
There he is. That's what I was saying, man. Mind you, about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 episodes ago, Zach, you threw in a white flag with people that were either hesitant, apprehensive, or anti-vaxxers by now. So why do you care?
Because it's Nicki.
You
I don't care that it's Nicki.
Yeah, no, you literally was saying that these jokers could drop off a cliff.
I just repeated the same statement.
So why you care right now?
You know what? Let me tell you this, Vince. A big part of my platform is advocacy in the Black community. And right now, I feel as though this is a targeted attack to give misinformation to the Black community by a Black person. I have said multiple times on this platform that certain things are beyond my control. And racism, I can't fix that because I don't cause racism. I don't perpetuate racism. I'm only affected by it. But when something happens in the Black community by a Black person, that falls upon us. We, the Black community, need to address these issues and hold people accountable for what they do. Nicki Minaj is Black. She has large influence in the Black community. She is causing harm and damage to that community. And as a result, leaders in the Black community should be holding her accountable. That is my opinion.
But if she said, please continue to do your own research, she did not say don't get the vaccine.
It was
anti-science.
It was what has come after those comments. That was the initial start of what she said. That isn't the snowball effect and the continuous retweets and the continuous things that she said using her platform to spread misinformation. That's the problem.
You ain't about to come for me and think I'm just not gonna say nothing. I just think she just being
Nicki this, Nicki that, Nicki.
Right.
And you know, it's just again a situation where we have
making her relevant.
A different, and I'm sure, John, that her album will do well because that's the population of the community that she reaches. You know, with that being said, what Darius?
Received it, done with it.
Received it and done with it. We will move on, from the Nicki, thank you, Mr.
I
Ray.
love you too, Malik.
So moving on from Nicki Minaj, it's also time to talk about Joe Biden. So it's not just one-sided. Some people would say that Nicki Minaj is the big baby. Other people say that maybe it's Joe Biden. He's also shedding some tears and causing a ruckus as his approval rating continues to drop. We didn't talk about it last week. It dropped even more over the week. According to 538, Joe Biden is sitting at a 47% approval rating, one of the lowest approval ratings of a president within 8 months of being in office. There are a lot of things that people are saying attributed to it. Gentlemen, I want to know, do you feel as though Joe Biden is doing a bad job?
I don't think he's doing a bad job. I think that if he were to come out tomorrow and sign an executive order that forgave student loans in the way that he promised he would try to figure out some portion of student loans to forgive, then his approval rating would go through the roof. That's my personal opinion. However, I think that, as we've said many times on this platform, he is playing the long game. And the long game is going to take a while. He just has to understand that you can't be so concerned about your approval rating if you're not doing the things that people were counting on you to do when they voted for you. And like we said, he wants to be the president of the entire United States of America. That is such an admirable goal. It should be the goal of every single president. However, I think he's going about it completely the wrong way from an aspect of getting the approval of the people who voted for him. So we'll just have to stick around and see what happens over the next few months.
I just think that the circumstances that the country is facing right now, it was sort of inevitable, if you will, for him to just be in this space. The Delta variant came out of nowhere. Afghanistan, we talked about that, a week or two ago, how that was already set up per Trump or what have you. So a lot of these like major, just situations that we're in, there was no way to avoid them. We're just really in the thick of it. So it is my prayer and my hope that he's doing the best that he can. But I will say this, what really pissed me off, and I need somebody from that administration to speak out. The NAACP posted something about the Haitians that have become refugees post the hurricane, and now they're, in Texas or what have you. I don't know if it's the Border Patrol, Coast Guard, I don't know, immigration officers, I don't know who it is. But these people were chasing after these refugees, wrangling them on horses with ropes, lassos. That ain't cool. When I tell you, I was extremely infuriated by those images. And for Joe to, soul of America and, want this to be the beacon of hope and all these things, I just feel like there are so many internal things that are just unethical. And I am so surprised the United Nations ain't involved in investigating us. Well, how we treating each other over here. So while we're talking about battling for the soul of the nation and all these things, there's some optics and some aesthetics and some more addressing that I feel like that he needs to be doing right now. Yes, we still battling COVID. Yes, there's still Afghanistan things going on and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, I just feel like it's a lack of just I don't know, positivity or unity. Just what he ran off on, I just do not feel it and I do not see it. I don't.
It was done by Border Patrol agents. And again, too, you have a large push from Texas Governor Greg Abbott. And a lot of it happened. Yeah, they did these things, but also you have a PR machine from Greg Abbott turning this out, also wanting to infuriate Democrats. But again, I don't think the Democrats should not be furious. I think they should. But I definitely think there's a political element to what's happening at the Texas border that is being caused by the Republicans in Texas. Zach?
No, I wholeheartedly agree with everything that Vince just said, solely because that's one of the pieces that really has frustrated me. And I'm saying, okay, give the man a chance. It's only been 9 months. And so he's only working with what he was inherited, meaning Trump was the one saying we need to be out of Afghanistan by a certain time and a certain date, and he was just going with it. Trump also had COVID, and so he's trying to work with what he has to do with that. And so I think with this whole piece of this immigration, I think that was like really frustrated me solely because I'm trying to get my words right. Because one, we are accepting individuals from Afghanistan, but yet we're rejecting individuals from Haiti. And so the optics of that does not look well. And so I don't know how I feel currently about that. But it's not, I can see why his ratings are dropping. I even read something recently that he's in a dead heat with Trump if there was a re-election, if there was an election today. And so that's not positive for our Democratic Party.
So I don't know. I think that one thing, like, it's so funny to me, the American sentiment that we're gonna all of a sudden like start forgetting all the horrible things that Trump did, and the fact that he encouraged his white supremacist followers to cause and lead to an insurrection on the Capitol. We can't forget that, regardless. Like, and until Biden crosses that line, he's going to still have my support over Donald J. Trump any day. I absolutely do not. I haven't agreed from the moment that there was news of migrants storming the Texas border from Haiti, that there was an issue. And again, you have Greg Abbott on Twitter tweeting about it. He's talking about, again, the involvement of the Texas National Guard and the Department of Public Safety from Texas. They are very much involved in this, and they're very much responsible for a lot of the things happening that we see that's negative. But the determination and the commitment to send these migrants back to their country is 100% on Joe Biden. The low approval ratings did not come from this incident. This is only going to cause them to go lower. The withdrawal from Afghanistan hurt the Biden presidency because it was poorly done and the American people didn't approve of it. I was one of the first people publicly that I know of that said this was a big mistake and I'm pissed off. The response to COVID-19, I have not liked it. I've been pissed off about it. Delta came, but it didn't actually come just out of nowhere. We knew this was coming. Like, we know that the Mu variant is coming. Like, we know that there are already 26 other variants coming. And the fact that everything that Biden did recently, he didn't do in March, makes me angry. I don't care how people would have felt about it. It's about keeping people safe no matter what. Like, right now, I'm in New York and I feel super safe. I was tested before I left Atlanta. I got here. I had to meet with a doctor once I arrived in New York in my hotel. And because I'm here for work, I got another test. So I feel, and you can't go, and I can't go into a restaurant and eat without showing my vaccination card.
But is it testing from your job? Is that mandated by your job?
No, this is New York.
Oh, New York is mandating that you be tested.
No, the work is requiring all those tests.
Okay,
but
that's what I was.
The city of New York, I can't go into a restaurant and eat without my vaccination card. I would have to eat outside if I don't have proof of vaccination. Those are things that could be happening all across the country, and you wouldn't have 1,000 Georgians having died last week, or 1 million United States citizens in the course of 7 days testing COVID positive. Those are the things that make the difference, and those are the things that people like me elected Joe Biden to do that he did not do. I can tell you now, very briefly, I don't agree with this, but this is why the White House will tell you they allowed Afghanistani refugees into the country, because we played a role in the downfall of democracy in Afghanistan. So there's a level of responsibility that they say they have to the Afghanistani people that they say they do not have to the Haitians. Although the question becomes, when a country faces a massive act of natural destruction, what role should the U.S. play? And I definitely think with them being a Western Hemisphere nation, we should be able to offer a level of support that we're not offering and we never offered. The media didn't cover it. Our government didn't talk about it. And it is unfair and it's unfortunate to all people of color. And we should all feel unified in our united front to care about the people of Haiti. Darius, any thoughts on that one? Poor Haitians. You have more to say about Nicki Minaj than you got to say about them Haitians getting wrangled up by whips and chains.
Everything that needs to be said.
Thank you, DeAndre.
I have something to add.
Thank you, Dr. Pickett. And so we have some great comments in here. One, the Haitians have been treated so badly for years, unfortunately. That is so true. Human rights abuses have gone unchecked and unmonitored. Again, H.C. Cummings says, yes, to see Black people being chased by Border Patrol on horses is totally unacceptable. Kale agrees. Dr. Washington also said that she went to a WNBA game and had to provide proof of vaccination. Also had to keep a mask on during the entire game. So shout out and cheers to WNBA. Are they doing that for the NFL? Does anyone know?
No.
They're not.
What about for the what's the soccer people call? I know a couple of my friends went to
Atlanta United. And the soccer.
What's the league called? I know that our team is called
MLS.
I was gonna say MLB, and I was like, no, that's baseball. But okay, so I know my friends went to the baseball game. Did they require y'all to show proof of vaccination? When I went to DC, I had to show proof of vaccination to get into.
And how did that make you feel? Like again, it makes me feel really good. Like I feel like I'm in restaurants and the people don't have COVID. Like I feel a level of safety in New York that I don't feel in Atlanta.
Really? I mean, because there's still a breakthrough cases. And
no,
so I'm still hesitant.
There's a less chance I'm going to contract a breakthrough case if the people around me don't have COVID. And the fact that they are being...
You don't know who they've been around before they got to you.
But in addition to having to show proof of my vaccination, I also see, I am seeing everywhere I walk, like I'm staying in Chelsea, everywhere I walk, there are COVID-19 testing sites. Now, let me add to that. In Georgia, I could not find a COVID test to save my life. Like I had to have, and I own at my home 4 boxes of Binax to have the rapid test if I'm feeling ill. But in Atlanta, I had to get a PCR test to come here for this work opportunity. And I couldn't find a test.
Well, you also have to understand where you at. You have the blue and you have the red.
You said what now?
I say you also have to understand where you at.
No, I get that. And what I'm saying is, and that is also problematic. And I fought Biden for that because as president of the United States, this is a national health crisis. And he has executive orders and rules and rights as the president that he could enforce if this was because this is a national emergency, but he hasn't made this this is no longer a national emergency because those powers have expired. We need additional support in red states. Your governor, Zach Thomas, Tater Tot Reeves,
that's my governor. I live in Virginia.
And it was pointed out that of everywhere in the whole entire world, if Mississippi was an independent country, it would have the second highest death rate in the world. And this moron couldn't even cite statistics and facts. And he sits in a state that is 35% Black. They need help in Mississippi, and shame on Joe Biden for not finding a way to help those Black people that voted for him. Did they win? No, but they voted. They came out, and Joe Biden is failing them in mass numbers.
And I agree. Like even in Mississippi, they're vaccinated for everything under the moon: measles, mumps, rubella, hepatitis B, chicken, yellow fever. But yet,
various your governor said they was vaccinated against HIV. Brian Kemp said the HIV vaccine.
He said AIDS.
My bad. You right. He said AIDS.
Is that a segue?
Take it away, Darius.
Thank you so much. So the next thing that we have to talk about, y'all, is Brian Kemp of Georgia, who, in an attempt to talk about the vaccines, he continues. That's not something he's done once. He's done this several times. He continues to reference a non-existent AIDS vaccine, and he continues to use that as a way to discourage people in getting the COVID vaccine. He says, in quotes, that is basically how the AIDS vaccine worked. People wouldn't take it early on because it was mandated. They started educating people, and now it's doing a lot of good out there. Same scenario, different year that we are dealing with right now. So his suggestion is that when the AIDS vaccine was mandated, nobody wanted to take it. So if we mandate a COVID vaccine, then nobody is going to take it. But now that people have been educated about this AIDS vaccine, now that it's doing a lot of good. And I just want to echo the sentiments of twice impeached, one term failed president Donald Trump. He hit the nail on the head when he tweeted this back in December. What a fool Governor Brian Kemp of Georgia is. Could have been so easy, but now we have to do it the hard way. If ever there is a time that I can quote Donald Trump, it is right now, because Brian Kemp is absolutely foolish for even suggesting that, number one, there's an AIDS vaccine, and then number two, that vaccine is doing a lot of good today. And then he tried to lie and say, his team tried to lie and say that he meant the HPV vaccine. And so now I'm like, okay, does he realize that HPV and HIV are two different things? So what do you all think about our amazingly foolish governor of the great-ish state of Georgia?
Amazingly foolish.
Amazingly. I'm amazed. I'm in awe.
It's a shit show. I'm sorry. That's just the most simplest way that I can put it. It is a shit show for real at this point. May I mind you, unfortunately, his sister-in-law passed away at the top of this month from COVID, from pneumonia, because she caught COVID. So even in your own household, bro, like your own family, this lady, you taking pictures with her, you going to weddings and doing dinners and all this stuff, your own family passing away from COVID, and this is still your position, and you are being extremely ignorant, uneducated, and untactful, bringing in AIDS and just all these other different things. It's like, yeah, what Horatio say, we got to get him out. We got to get this man out, bro. Goodbye.
Is this the election year for? No, it's not governor this year. When is that?
We're going to elect a new governor in November. I want to say November 7th of 2022. Here's the thing: we have to look at a number of factors. Brian Kemp is extremely unpopular in Georgia. But if we don't have a strong Democratic candidate, then we're not going to have a Democratic governor. If Stacey Abrams runs, I think that we're going to have Stacey Abrams serve as governor of the state of Georgia. But Stacey Abrams has not said she's going to run, and she's being oddly quiet about it. I don't blame her for waiting, because the longer she waits, the less time they will have to attack her, misalign her, lie on her, and then organize around her. But I do not think that there are many other people out there that would have a chance in the state of Georgia of beating Brian Kemp. Brian Kemp is still extremely popular among true Georgia Republicans. While he's not popular among Trumplicans, he's very popular around like old school true Georgia Republicans. And just like I said earlier, no matter what Biden does, unless he resorts to causing unless he resorts to having AOC and the squad storm the Capitol and demand the arrest and hanging of Mitch McConnell, I cannot see him not getting my vote over Donald Trump. I feel as though, unfortunately, many Republicans and those who lean Republican in Georgia would say the same thing. It doesn't matter what Brian Kemp does, they're still going to vote for Brian Kemp no matter what. And I think that's why we're going to be somewhat in a stalemate. And it's all going to come down to who gets their voters out, number one. And it's going to come down to independents. What hurts Democrats right now is that many Democrats are losing enthusiasm because of what they see as the failures of the Biden administration. Some would argue that we want too much too soon. And I would have been in that same boat. I was not angry at Biden and pressuring Biden until Delta surge and then Afghanistan. That's when I lost it and got upset. So
forgive me, but I can't remember whatever happened with the voting bill in Georgia. Are we still?
The bill is passed. There's nothing.
So that's another factor in itself too. When it comes to voting on a new governor.
You have a whole entire Christian, a whole entire like axis of evil when it comes to Republican governors, led by Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis, followed up by their, flunky Tate Reeves and homegirl Meemaw Ivey in Alabama. But we can't forget the governor of South Dakota. We can't forget the governor of Iowa, and we can't forget, the people in South Carolina. So it's a whole entire team of idiots, and at the bottom is the dumbest of them all, Brian Kemp. Brian Kemp. So, again, with those
Georgia on my mind.
Wait, what happened?
Georgia on my mind.
Okay, and again, I think that's very fair. Again, this is definitely an embarrassing time for Georgians. But I'm from the state of Atlanta, so I'm not really embarrassed. I'm from the state of Atlanta, so I am not as embarrassed. So in addition to, CJ isn't here with us, but CJ's topic was the birth of Montero by Darius's hero, Lil Nas X. Darius, you want to take this one since you're a Lil Nas X fan?
Listen, number one, Vera is my hero, okay? The Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is my hero.
Yeah, I praise him.
Is very entertaining. The man is hilarious. He's a troll, but he is the moment. And you know what? If you ever need a good laugh, just go on to YouTube and check him out. However, his album, Montero, was released right at the top of the weekend. I thought it was fabulous from start to finish. There was a lot of hesitancy surrounding whether or not it would be a good body of work. I'm hoping that Zach took some time to check it out. Of course not, Anyway, did you, Zach?
At the George Washington University Online High School, a premier college prep.
Did you have a chance to listen to it, Zach?
He's referring to you, Zach Thomas, because he know I didn't listen to it.
Am I the only person that listened to the album?
No, I heard some of it. Like, I didn't know. I thought you were talking about Zach Kurt.
Love you, mama. I thought it was a great album. I think that this entire marketing scheme that he's created was... No, I've been told that I'm no longer drinking alcohol on live, so that's just going to be that. I thought that
one time tonight only because I'm in New York and I really wanted to go out and I wanted to have a glass of wine at this one restaurant that I saw, but we had this commitment, and so I said no. If Vince can travel all around the world, and if he can do this, I can do this. And Vince, I appreciate it because it's a sacrifice, and it's a sacrifice of time. Thank you.
But yeah, so the whole concept of him birthing this album, being pregnant, and doing his little spoofs and his little videos and everything for the build up, it was great. This is an amazing freshman album. One thing that I wanted to call out was he had a lyric that was like, he did it and he didn't need a feature. A lot of the great artists now, they start as feature artists. When you think about Nicki Minaj and some of the other rappers that came up off of their features. Lil Nas X came out with that single and he hit it out of the park, and he's been showing us consistently that he's not a one-trick pony, and that's not, no pun intended, to the Old Town Road. So
a feature with didn't Billy Ray Cyrus?
He was the one that was featured on the song.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So, what do you guys think? Did you all have a chance to check it out or hear anything, or do you have any reactions to the singles?
I do want to make a statement, right? I am not a fan of Lil Nas X's sound. I am going to listen to the album, and I'm going to be very fair, and I'm going to be very unbiased, and I'm going to truly judge it for the musicality of the album. If this is a good album, I will come on here and I will say it's a good album. But I'm excited because
diverse. We've not heard any of this from him from any of his singles,
and that's what I want. I want something different, right? This is my thing. I feel as though people like Lil Nas X because of the persona of Lil Nas X, and that's okay to get you to a certain point, right? But for me to say if you're a musician and I like you, I need to like your music. And that's what music is for me. It's the music, not the person. So I'm going to listen and I'm going to judge him very fairly. But I do also understand why so many people, especially young people, really like Lil Nas X, because there is no one else that they've seen that they can look up to. And I understand that there are people in this world who you may be a member of the LGBTQI plus community, and you may know that, and you may need someone to identify, and there's no one else out there for you to identify with, because again, I acknowledge that, and I accept it. You know, in my perfect world, people would look up and research and find other individuals to, in my mind, to learn about, besides just what's put out there in front of you by society, because there are other people to learn about, like Bayard Rustin, like James Baldwin, like there are other people, but no one is highlighting them.
But that's for you, Zach.
About them. And but that's what society is doing. Society is saying, in order for you, you know, we're going to give you this role model, and that's what they do.
I don't think so. There's actually a movie coming out about Bayard Rustin coming out pretty soon. I don't think that's what society is giving us. I think that's what it's just that somebody's flavor. Like you might like Brussels sprouts and I might like broccoli. Like it's not for everybody. And so you have to understand that. And so I thought his marketing.
Right, like some people may like books and others may like seeing booty. You're right.
I also appreciate, and I know Vince, you know, Vince is our music guru on the show, so I'm sure you have something to say. But I also like that he aligned a few of the projects with foundations that he could donate money with. I know one of them was the Bell Project, maybe. And then there was another project that he used to promote another cause. So I also like, you know, we stand a socially conscious king.
But one thing I do like that he does have some features on this album. But then I read recently something where it said that he asked Drake and Nicki, and they both were too busy to do this. And so I wonder what Nicki was busy doing. But that's another
He said that Drake was busy doing Certified Lover Boy. Nicki did not respond, but there's
she didn't respond.
Yes. She was busy bullying the victim.
Okay, Zach.
Hey, I haven't listened to it. In all honesty, I haven't felt compelled to listen to it as of yet. And it's funny now that we're having this conversation. An article that I did want to submit for tonight's show was Tyrese recently came out after the VMAs went off, and he's just shared his thoughts around how things have just become extremely gimmicky versus, I guess, in his heyday, you know, early 2000s, 90s on back, it was really, you know, talent. If you can dance, you dance. If you can sing, you sing. And yes, you had the creative aesthetics, and, you know, you had some controversial, provocative moments, but those moments didn't really overshadow what the label signed you for you to be an entertainer, for you to sing, for you to dance, and really give us a great show. And I have to just co-sign on that. For me, as a consumer, I'm attracted. And not saying that he's not talented, because I've heard rave reviews about the project, how he encompasses a lot of different genres and musics and styles, and it just, you know, caught people, you know, I guess blindsided, like they weren't expecting the project to turn out sonically the way that it did, which is sort of, you know, I guess hopeful on my end. But at the end of the day, I can't even bite the bait, because I just feel like him and a lot of other artists in his pool are just so gimmicky. I feel like it's more so, let me create the viral moment to be the moment, versus can I actually give you a full 30 to 45 minute full out show with no gimmicks, with no social media, you know, enhancements, with no, like, in my raw, true, pure talent, can I really put on this type of caliber of what I'm used to seeing? Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, Beyonce, Britney, you know, those, you know, that is what I prefer. So
but
I will
say that's gimmicks.
Exactly.
Some would say those are gimmicks too.
Who?
Beyonce, Michael Jackson, Tyrese on the bus singing for Coca-Cola. Some would say those are gimmicks too.
No, that's an endorsement. That's not a gimmick. But what I'm telling you is, at the end of the day, from where we saw Lil Nas and all these other artists in his pool in this generation or what have you, it is more so about creating the most viral moment, gimmicky, this, that, and the third. Michael and Janet, hold on, bro. Michael and Janet, you put Michael next to Lil Nas, and what you gonna get? Let's be for real, bro. You put Britney and Lil Nas on the stage, what you gonna get?
You know what you gonna get? Embarrassed. You put Lil Nas X and Michael on the stage, you gonna get embarrassed.
Even Dominique, when he talked about the VMAs, God bless her, God rest her soul. You put Aaliyah and Normani on the stage, what you gonna get? Like, we gotta get out. This new generation, we gotta get out these gimmicks. For me, this is me. I don't need a viral moment to compel me to listen to you as an artist. Like Zach just said, I prefer the music versus the person. Like, and I'm not just compelled. I'm not compelled. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm seeing the age divide with this in the chat as well as right here. I'm sorry, Zach, that's not a dig at all. But here's the thing: we do live in a social media generation. Everything is driven by social media. It would be very dumb of an artist not to capitalize and use social media to their advantage in terms of meeting their consumers where they are and engaging with them on the regular. So I think that if an artist tried to come out right now without a social media campaign, they would flop quickly.
But it's not even okay. Well, let's not just be selective around the social media thing. Now, I'm gonna not put you on blast, Darius, but like you just said, Lil Nas is a troll.
He is. Okay?
He is a troll.
Yes.
And if we take away him being a troll,
thank you, Purvis.
What we gonna have?
The album that you haven't listened to yet.
But if that isn't, if he being a troll is utilized as a marketing, or then furthermore fashioning itself into just a gimmick or what have you, it's like if you just take and erase these things, like I just feel like where's the talent? Where's the talent?
But Vince, you and I just had a conversation. You and I had a conversation early on this about branding and marketing. You and I had a conversation about branding and marketing. And so that's what he's doing. That's what you have to do.
Just like
2021.
Just like Medea said, your talent is your gimmick.
But here's the thing, Vince. So don't log on social media and then just listen to his album. Like, forget all the rest of the social media and go listen to his album, right? He's using it as a vehicle to drive people to his album, but you've decided that because this is the vehicle he's used, you're not even interested in hearing what the album is, so you wouldn't know if he's talented in the first place. If social media existed like it did now, back when there was MJ and Beyonce and Britney Spears and others that were on the come up, they would have definitely used social media if that was something that they had to use.
To be fair, here's an example, right? I think that we're using the wrong example when we use Michael Jackson. You know who I think may be a better example, and I've seen it on social media, of course, is Prince. Because Prince was very focused in a large part of his career on androgyny and expressing himself and being sexually fluid and being sexually boisterous. That was a part of his identity. But the difference is a level of musicality and talent that I have yet to see displayed from Lil Nas X. I hope to see it on this album. I am going to listen to the album, I promise you, by next Monday. And I'm going to go as far as to listen to the album from start to finish 3 times before making an opinion, because that's what I do to see if I like a song. Now, again, Dominique brought up some good points, several great points, and I want to honor those points. One, is the music industry really inclusive? Of course it's not inclusive. The music industry is absolutely focused on shutting out as much real talent as it can, unless that talent fits what they see as an opportunity to make money. There are some amazing singers out there who are unsigned, that don't have contracts and won't be getting contracts, that can sing circles around almost every artist who is signed. It is a horrible industry. Also, Dominique, you talked about Normani. I want to say this, and we're going to talk about this on the after show, because all 4 of us are heading over to IG very shortly. But this is the thing I want to see people stop doing. I want to see artists like Normani, who is talented and who has earned her place, to stop begging for approval from certain audiences. She didn't need to even be on those stupid, ignorant VMAs. Zachary Kirk didn't even know MTV was still a network. I thought they were gone. I didn't know it was still on TV. So I don't know why they had a VMA, because I haven't seen a video on MTV or heard of a video in about 20 years. So she fought for this approval. And just last night we had these Emmys. We need to stop fighting for that kind of approval, because the approval shouldn't come from them. It should come from us. This community should be supporting the artists that we want to uplift, who are uplifting and serving us back. We have to stop allowing this mainstream media to determine what sells, what gets streamed, and what gets listened to. We have to break those chains.
It's laziness. I'm sorry, Darius, I love you, bro, but the industry is lazy as freak. And because social media has become this instrumental vehicle and vessel for these, new age artists to be successful, the industry does not have to do talent shows to find the next Whitney Houston. They don't have to invest in this, that, and the third to find the next Mariah Carey, because this generation is satisfied and comfortable with what I feel is a little subpar. And we automatically give these people that's been out for 2.5 years iconic statuses.
Iconic.
And all these, man, every time, bro, you go to Lil Nas X page, and every time he posts something, even with the pregnancy pictures,
I gave him that.
Oh, you're iconic. He's so iconic, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, bro.
I've been walking around looking pregnant for years, and I've never got iconic status.
Okay, Zach, get the hell out of here. Listen, Vince.
The industry is lazy as freak. Because this younger generation is comfortable with celebrating and putting labels of iconic and legendary status on what I feel is subpar talent as of what I'm used to seeing and what I grew up on. I'm just not compelled. I'm sorry, the industry is lazy as freak. They're lazy.
But I think we can't compare people to other people. Lil Nas X can only be the best Lil Nas X that he could be. People like it. Like,
it's the industry. Zach, are you kidding me? You can't compare people.
No, you can't. Lil Nas X can only be Lil Nas X. He's not trying to be Michael Jackson. He's not trying to be Tyrese. He's not trying to be any of those people.
Right,
everybody likes that genre.
Social media.
But at the end of the day, if we weren't comparing,
what more do you want from me?
We won't be talking about Brandy versus Monica, Christina versus Britney, Usher versus Gene Wine. Everybody gonna be comparing in this industry, so that's just intellectually dishonest. I'm sorry.
But I'm saying you can't compare him if he don't. That's not who he's compared to. Like that's like.
But if that's all that I've seen,
like
and
they compare Aaliyah to Beyonce, those two, like that's not the same.
There is nothing exaggerated about Beyonce, baby.
Comparison is inevitable. It's going to happen in industry.
You're right. So, but you know what else? You can't sell albums without fans. You can't get views without fans. And so if a person is able to build their fan base,
exactly. They're able to build their fan base off of doing antics and gimmicky things, and the industry has become lazy because they invest in viral moments. That's what I mean.
If anything, he's tried to use the gimmicks. If anything, he's tried to use the gimmicks as a way to get out of the box that people tried to place him in, which was an artist for the elementary school dance, the Old Town Road artist. That's the box he used gimmicks to get out of. And he went on the Breakfast Club and he had to explain also, #FTK. Y'all look it up. I'm not going to say it, but he had to brand himself in a way that he wanted to brand himself. The man is brilliant. He has a lot of brilliant ideas, and it's amazing to me to see how he brings those ideas to fruition.
I think it's so funny that we are talking about Lil Nas X gimmicks. When hell, Nicki, she is a big gimmick.
So it's Lady Gaga. So it's Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga. Like, they all have gimmicks. That's how they sell albums. And that's how they get fans. That's how they brand themselves.
Let me just say to my defense.
Billie Eilish.
To my defense. When have you ever heard me walk around praising Little Gaga, Nicki Minaj, and most certainly Billie Eilish? You haven't.
I'm not expecting.
My focus is on the musicality and listening to the songs and the artists, and that's what I'm going to praise. And I agree with Vince 100%. It's a lazy industry who are focused on making one good song that we can stream.
Well, Candy, since we're Puerto Rico, why don't we see us in the studio? We go drop some beats.
You put Sia Chandelier lyrically and musicianship wise versus Lil Nas X's.
She's a gimmick, though.
And who even knows Sia?
She's a
I
gimmick.
want to go on record of saying Zachary Kirk went to a Sia concert not because I wanted to see Sia.
She's a gimmick.
I wanted to see Miguel, but I thoroughly enjoyed Sia.
You a
She
gimmick.
hides her whole fucking face with her hair. Excuse my language.
She hides her face because she wants you to focus on her voice and not her appearance.
It's exactly.
Okay, but that's still a gimmick, a branding, a marketing tool for her.
So the intention.
That's
so
still
it's
a branding,
intention.
marketing tool for her.
But listen, at the end of the day, what I'm telling you is that the artists that Zach just named, even the people that we have deemed legends and icons back in the 50s on up to the 90s or what have you, they did do gimmicky things, but their gimmicks did not overshadow their talent. Period.
I want you to focus on what I'm saying and not how I look.
Hold on. Yes, Gaga did do the meat dress and put the meat over her eyes, and she showed up in the Grammys in a big dinosaur egg or what have you. But at the end of the day, when you strip all that away, Gaga barefooted gonna sing your ass under the table. She gonna dance your ass under the table. She gonna perform your ass under the table. You get these new artists next to Gaga, it's gonna be crickets.
Chloe is not a gimmick.
Give me the raw talent. I want the raw talent.
I just want to go on record to say that Dominique Keys Finch is an amazing musician, and I'm so glad to see his commentary tonight. Hey, Dominique. And that's going to take us, since we're 2 minutes over and we do have to go to our after show, I would love to engage you all with a moment in Black history. Today, in 1830, the first national Black...
I'll take it off of Black history. That's the only reason I'm taking my Sia off, because of Black history.
Thank you. On today, in 1830, the first National Black Convention met at Philadelphia's Bethel African Methodist Episcopal Church and elected Richard Allen the president. 38 delegates from 8 states attended the first national meetings of Black in 1830. And that is our moment in Black history for today.
I want to share a moment in Black history yesterday that I read about that absolutely shocked me because I didn't know about it. And those are for me, you know, and I'm someone who, like, I was even a part of like a Black history competitive quiz bowl team. So I know a lot of like random Black history facts, but I had never heard of the Camilla Massacre in Georgia. And so if you have not heard of the Camilla Massacre that happened right in Georgia, I need you to Google it. Also, I read today about how in South Carolina, they're going to once again try to destroy a prominent Black neighborhood in order to enlarge a highway, the interstate system. This has been going on. The same things keep happening to the Black community over and over and over again, and they will continue to happen until we unify with the help and support of allies and stop it. So I want you, and that is exactly what the Camilla Massacre was about. It was about Black and white people working together for a common cause, and how that community of white supremacists had to put an end to it, and put an end to it they did. So Google the Camilla Massacre. It's a great place for us to stop. And so I want to also add in, thank you guys for being here. We love you too, Dominique. Congratulations to Horatio, 1 year anniversary of his single. I haven't heard the single. Horatio, share that single. I don't even know how to find it. I would love to listen to it. And then again, at AME Church, shout out. Camilla, Georgia, Camilla, Camilla. It's right, you know, the city in Georgia, down by Albany. And so check it out. And so, yep, here we go. Darius dropped the link right there. Everybody, thank you guys for joining us. We are now going over to
Zach, too.
And to all of the men of Iota Phi Theta and our beloved sweethearts. This is our sign, Vince. This is the Iota sign. So
no, when you said Camilla, Georgia, it just resonated with me because I went to FAMU. So coming back home from Tallahassee, we always travel through Camilla.
Yeah. So I want everyone, you can go to any of you can go to see _ King Darius, you can go to @BizAsh, you can go to Destined to Be Great or the Zactivist to continue to watch the commentary that we have. The after show is always a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit more fun, and the topics tend to be a little bit lighter. So please check us out. We will see you soon. And if you watch that one special after show, you know why Darius is no longer allowed to drink. I received a community guidelines violation on my account for that after show.
And I don't feel bad about it. That's exactly what you get to stop interrupting my grinding. Stop interrupting my grinding.
See you soon.